You're probably sick of talking about it, so I'm going to start with what you're probably sick of talking about, which is how you've rebuilt since TI6.
Okay.
I was going back and watching some of the interviews, and we forced you guys to talk to us right after the big loss at TI6, you and No Tail. And one of the things that you said at the time was that you felt that it was possible that being favorites coming in may have hindered you in the process. Now that you've had a year to reflect, do you still think that's true? And if so, how come?
I did have a lot of time to reflect on what happened, and that was my first year. TI6 was my first year coming in as a favorite, or one of the favorites. And I definitely think it did not have a positive effect on us. But now looking back at it, it does matter. And it can be like hard to be a favorite and then go into the tournament again. But if you are strong enough mentally, then it shouldn't affect you, because you look at like some great athletes in the world who continuously win and win. You can take, Michael Phelps or whatever, and this guy keeps winning. And he clearly is a favorite, but he keeps doing it, so why can't we? And in the end, it's all about your mental game. That's what it comes down to, really.
Yeah, anything specific that you're doing differently mentally this time for your team?
Well, we're gonna try to incorporate some breathing exercises.
That's good.
Yeah, but mostly the way we approach how we go into each game, it's a game of itself. Like, we don't think about anything else. This is just the game. Live in the moment, have no regrets, and play to enjoy the game as well. As opposed to what happened last year, where we ended up playing to not lose, which in this moment you already lost, because you're playing not to lose. You're gonna be afraid of doing things. But if you are able to release all that and remove that pressure and not have everybody like in the crowd looking at you and like, let it go, you're gonna play great and you're gonna do great. And that's all you can ask for, because the worst thing is having to go through this competition and having regrets after, because that's what really kills you. And I've had plenty of regrets after last year. And I don't want that to happen. Even if, it so happens that we don't win it, as long as I don't have regrets, I'll still be happy.
So you're able to stay calm during the tournament and during the game, but is there a time afterward? Like, if Kiev had gone a different way and you had ended up losing, how do you get that all out in the open and discuss it and make room for some of that?
So something we have tried to focus on is kind of talking more together. And we always say, and I always say to my team, is that if there's anything on your mind, anything at all, you can tell me, you can tell a teammate, as long as it's out, because the worst thing that could happen to a team is keeping feelings bottled up. That really destroys teams. I feel like even if we have some losses or anything, at best we would talk about it together. We would sit down and we try to find the best solution possible, which is, keep it open.
How did adding S4 change the dynamic of your team?
I think S4 fit very nicely into the team. I think it was a very easy transition. He's one of the most talented players I know and one of the smartest players I've ever met. He already kind of played this role before, where he would be the tempo controller and the guy making things happen. So it kind of fit for him to go to the offlane. I mean, he's a beast. What can I say? S4 is the god of Dota, they call him.
Does he make you call him that when you're practicing?
Yeah, of course. He's very weird about it. He walks around and says, "Do you remember the time?"
Gather round.
Yeah, he likes to have fun, and we like to make fun of him. But
there's something about that dynamic there where you feel like you can kind of poke fun at each other. That every time I've seen it with teams, you can tell that it affects the level of trust. For some reason, it seems to correlate with they seem to trust each other.
No, that makes perfect sense. I think being able to have fun with each other and like throw these little stabs and everything, and it just makes you more of a team, really, because it's not all just business, it's also having fun together. Because if you're gonna spend so much time with one another, if you at least don't have any sort of like common grounds besides the game that you like about this person, it might not end very well. So I think it's great. I get along with everybody in the team in one way or another.
Yeah.
So, yeah.